Hello everybody and welcome to Quasar's Getting Started Guide. I am so pumped for this. This is something that I've been working on for a while and I really want you to have a stellar experience. So let's run through what we're going to be covering in this series. First, we're going to be covering pages and layouts. So this little outside part here, that is our layout. That's kind of like the skeleton of our application, and also different pages so that when we go to different routes, it'll take us to those different pages, which allows us to do really cool stuff like code splitting. By the way, if I talk about anything in this introduction that you don't understand, it doesn't make sense to you, don't worry about it. That's totally fine. We're going to go into this stuff in depth in this series. We're also going to talk about color. So being able to set different things for your website, getting these nice pink colors at the top here. And when you add a new list, all of these different colors that Quasar gives us by default, we're going to be exploring that. Extracting component logic. So let's create a new list in our application here. So for example, a shopping list. And maybe we can set the color of this to blue and make it a shopping bag. Then we can add a to-do and add something like lettuce. Create that. And all of these bits and pieces around the screen, we're going to talk about extracting them to their own files. So like this create button, this list item, this list in general, the to-dos, the checkbox here that allows you to say that that has been already bought, and that uncheck box, this delete button, this create button, this dialog here. We're going to talk about extracting them to their own components and keeping the logic within those components. We're also going to talk about plugins. So aside from components, Quasar gives us plugins, which allows us to really easily create dialogues like this one and to create dialogues like this one here for the logout button. We'll also be covering global state. So these to-do items and this list is sitting within global state. And we're actually going to build that global state using the composition API. So we'll start off with the options API so that it's accessible for everyone. And then we're going to slowly drift into the composition API. It's going to be lots of fun. And if you don't know the comp API, you're going to love it. We're also going to connect everything up to a free API. So if we come over here, this is actually a free API that I have available that you will be able to use. So you don't have to set up your own backend or anything like that. We'll set it up so that you hit this endpoint at to-do-api.quasarcast.com, and then you've got that entire API. It's a RESTful API ready for you to use and implement in the application for free. So that's exciting. We're also going to be covering a whole bunch of cool components. So for example, when you right-click on here, this menu component that allows you to right-click and then show a menu, which gives us that delete button. The list component, which allows us to make really beautiful lists like this one, where we hover over it and it's got a nice highlight on it. And a whole lot more. Quasar has a stunning component library that is going to blow your mind. This is one of the things that really drew me in about Quasar. Once I got stuck into the component library, I was like, whoa, I am never going back to anything else. So another thing we'll be covering is boot files, which basically allow us to hook into the application before the Vue instance is instantiated. So that gives us like total control over our app, which is really cool. We'll also cover directives. Quasar gives us a whole bunch of awesome directives to do with stuff like scrolling and adding ripple effects to components that don't have them by default. They're really, really awesome. Even like some really cool morph animation directives, which I've been exploring lately. A lot of fun. Also, the layout builder, which is a tool that Quasar gives you so that you can build your own layout. And that's going to help you build just about any layout that you could desire. So having like this button on the left side that hides and closes the left panel, this toolbar at the top, having footers at the bottom, having a toolbar on the right side with a drawer, all that kind of stuff is actually really, really easy to build with Quasar. And it's a heap of fun. And they got this awesome online tool that'll help you do that. Then we are going to learn how the Quasar grid system works, and we're actually going to build out an entire landing page for our application. So this is going to be part of our app, and we've got this really cool landing page here, and all these like little bits and pieces, like dummy examples of all the features of our app. And then we've even got like this call to action section, some testimonials, and then also like a plan section. We're going to build this entire thing out with Quasar, and I'm going to show you how to do all the typography for it as well. So notice that we've got like this nice gray here for the text, and nothing is like full black. We've got these nice sort of shades of colors and different size text. I'm going to show you how to do that with Quasar. It's going to be a heap of fun. And that's what I've built so far, but I plan on doing a whole bunch of other cool stuff like hooking it up to our own database. So I'll teach you how to build the backend with Laravel, and then I'll teach you how to build the backend with something like Firebase, and then we'll basically hook it up to different backends depending on what you want to do. So by that point, the tutorial series is going to basically fork, and you can choose to basically say, from here on, I want to go to building the backend with Laravel, or I want to go to building the backend with Firebase, or I want to go to building the backend just using local storage. It is going to be a ton of fun. I'm so excited for this series. Now, as you can probably tell, I move pretty fast, and I do actually tend to move quite fast in these tutorial series, so feel free to hit that pause button as much as you need. Whenever I watch tutorial videos, I use the spacebar on my computer so that it pauses it automatically. I do that all the time when watching these series, and I highly recommend that you just abuse that pause button. And it won't be as fast as I'm talking right now, but the reason I go fast in these videos is so that I can cater to people that like the videos to be a little bit more upbeat, a little bit faster, and for those of you that think that it is a bit too fast, just slow me down a little bit, or once again, abuse the pause button on your computer. I do it all the time. Sometimes I'll watch a 20-minute video and it'll take me 2 hours to get through it. That's totally fine. So I am so excited. I absolutely cannot wait to introduce you to this framework that I adore. I really, really love the Quasar framework, and I think that you're going to love it too. So come along with me, and I'll see you in the next video where we'll go ahead and install everything and get up and running.